Sorry about that, guys. Is the setup back up? I hope no one's hurt. Can you also move this vase and this coffee cup away, please? I'm kind of clumsy, but you already know that. So, we're here to talk about my life, huh? It's quite a roller coaster, let me tell ya. Anyway, I'm Maisie, and before I continue, please like and subscribe to MSA. My story starts in a small apartment in Washington, D.C., where I lived with my dad, who worked as a computer expert with the government. Dad and I were close, mostly because we both loved computers and would spend hours chatting about codes, algorithms, applications. Well, let me tell you something interesting. There are over 700 computer languages, and the first bug found in a computer was an actual bug. Okay, that's not interesting. I can see you're yawning. That's because you took my coffee away. I would have broken that cup. I was 6 when I accidentally broke the toilet because my butt was too fat to fit inside. And then at 10, I went to a wedding, tripped on my own foot, and crashed into the wedding cake. You should have seen the bride. Some crying mess she was. So, you're clumsy and annoying? Do you want the story or not? Yes, please continue. So, yeah, my dad and I were close and things were going perfectly. I was acing my classes. By 13, I could crack the toughest codes. And by 16, I'd already developed an application where you could paint your own cat pictures. Because cats are cute. Life was good. But then I turned 17 and everything changed. Dad and I were working in his lab when his screen started glitching. And suddenly it went blank. Dad sprung into action, but it was too late. And then minutes later, out of nowhere, the FBI crashed open the lab and handcuffed Dad.
You're under arrest for leaking important government files. You have the right to remain silent, and whatever you say will be used against you in the court of law.
No way! My dad is innocent! Tell them, Dad!
Maisie, I'm sorry. Take care of yourself, and I promise you everything will be fine.
The FBI dragged Dad away, and a week later his case went to trial. I used all our savings to hire the best lawyer for Dad, but it was useless. The evidence against him was stacking, and he was sentenced to 20 years in jail. Do you want a tissue? Yes, thank you. Oh, sorry. I just get really overwhelmed. It was a tough time. Anyway, the day Dad went to jail, I couldn't sleep a wink. And the next morning, news of his arrest spread like wildfire. My friends turned their back on me, and everywhere I went, people whispered all kinds of things about Dad that made my blood boil. I was losing my mind. So that week, when I met Dad, I told him everything, and he suggested I move in with his sister Gina to New York. But I'd only met Aunt Gina once when I was 6, and it wasn't a pleasant experience, mostly because her daughter Claire was such a prude. I was nervous, but somehow made up my mind and hopped on a plane. I reached Aunt Gina's mansion and saw her waiting for me with Claire. I walked up and hugged Claire tight, but she pushed me away. Oh my God. Have you heard of personal space? 2 steps back, please. I'm sorry. That's just the way I say hello. Maisie, that's a funny noise. No, my name's Maisie. We met when we were really young, and you told me I have the nose of a seahorse. And then I asked you if you wanted to play with the computer, and you told me that was geeky and you'd rather eat a bag of worms than stay with me because I smelled like a farm. Ring a bell? But Claire just gave me a weird look and left without answering. The next morning was no good either. Aunt Gina and Claire were sinfully boring people, and they hardly spoke, so I decided to start a conversation. Such beautiful weather. I can already smell the winter in the air. Perfect time for some hot chocolate and sandwiches, right? It's the weather to curl up and die. The leaves have ruined the garden, and I feel like throwing up at the thought of wearing 10 layers so I wouldn't freeze to death. Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. Oh, sweetums, do you want a handshake? It will make you feel better. Yes, thank you. See what I mean? Well, thankfully, I still had my computer, so I wasn't totally losing my mind. And a few days later, Aunt Gina enrolled me in the same school as Claire, and I was happy to finally get some time away from the house. On my first day, I was in the cafeteria figuring out what to eat when I saw the last piece of pie. I reached out for it, but someone else did too. And for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. Standing in front of me was the most gorgeous guy.
Wow, we're in a fix.
You can have the last one.
It's okay, you were here first. Besides, this pie is the only thing edible in this cafeteria. You know, one time I ate the muffins here and it gave me such bad gas I almost pooped my pants? Okay, that's not a very funny thing to say. I have a weird sense of humor.
So do I. I'm Maisie.
Noah, pleasure meeting you.
Noah and I sat down on one of the tables and ended up having a great time. He told me he was a year senior and had only recently moved to New York. We had a lot in common, but the best part was when he said he loved coding, just like me. After that day, Noah and I were inseparable. It felt nice to have someone to talk to, and as time went by, I slowly started to like him. Soon after, Noah asked me out, and I gladly said yes. We went to this video game parlor near school, and I totally owned his butt.
Those were some crazy moves. And where did you learn all those cheat codes?
My dad taught me. He loved video games, and he was a coder too. He's not around anymore though, and that's why I'm stuck with my aunt and my cousin who are worse than a statue. They don't talk to me, and I have no one to share my feelings with, and I just...
Hey, I can understand. Please, calm down.
Noah pulled me into a hug and I melted into his arms. I wanted to tell him everything about Dad, but I knew he's going to judge me, so I stayed quiet, and soon after we left. Noah held my hand tight throughout the ride back home, and I couldn't help myself falling for him harder. I was super excited to see Noah the next day, but surprisingly, he kept avoiding me. He wouldn't talk, wouldn't laugh, and every time I tried having a conversation, he would make up some silly excuse and run away.
I gotta go. Class. Wish I could talk, but I have to go home. A raccoon came flying and knocked my grandma off a rocking chair. She broke her hip.
A flying raccoon?
Yeah, it's an Australian raccoon. We live next to the zoo, so I guess it broke out or something.
Is she okay?
Nope, she tried to get up with a broken hip, then lost balance and hit her head on the door, and now she's unconscious. I just got her text that she needs me. Okay, bye-bye.
And before I could say anything, Noah just ran in the other direction. He was clearly lying, and I needed to know why. So that evening, I went to his place to talk to him. But the guard told me that Noah was out of town with his dad. I tried texting him, but he didn't reply, and he didn't even answer my calls. I was losing my mind over the situation when a week later, I walked into school and saw Noah talking to that trash cheerleader Whitney. You know what, handsome? I've always had my eyes on you, but you were so busy with the new nerd Lazy or Hazy or something. Anyway, now that you're available, you and I should hang out this weekend. Over my dead body? And you, why are you not answering my calls?
Jeez, Mom. Relax, stop being so clingy.
Sorry, what? I'm being clingy? You're the one who asked me out, and then you totally ghosted me. Something's up, and you owe me an explanation.
I don't owe you anything, okay? And yeah, I took you out on a date, and you basically blew your nose into my shirt. That's disgusting, and I don't date disgusting girls. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm late for class.
Noah started walking really fast. I tried my best to keep up, but then he opened the door to the classroom, walked inside, and the door swung back, hitting me in the face. That oughta hurt. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what hurt actually feels like. I flew into a rage and punched Whitney's stupid nose. She tackled me to the ground, and we started fighting like a pair of wild dogs. The teacher pulled us apart, took us to the principal, and we both ended up in detention. After that horribly bad day, I went home, stuffed my face in a pillow, and cried like a baby. I was wiping my nose when Claire barged into my room. I heard what happened at school today. I don't understand. Why are you so worked up about a boy you just met? Why do you care? Because I hate seeing intelligent girls make dumb decisions for some boy who hardly respects them. He isn't just some boy, okay? He's my soulmate. He even likes pepperoni pizza. It's my favorite. So does homeless Willie down the street. Is he your soulmate too? That's not it. He likes strawberry ice cream. How many boys like pink ice cream, huh? He's definitely the one for me. You know what? He's doing this thing I've read about in books. Just agreeing with everything you say. Does he stop to smell every flower and gaze at stars at night? Yeah? Oh, yes, he's definitely faking it all. I haven't dated anybody, but I've read all the books there are to read about male psychology. I mean, I've only read 2, but I know they almost say the same things. Men aren't that complicated or diverse. He thought you were cute, and then he found someone cuter. This is not helping. Claire, trust me, Noah's different. He's lying, and I have to know why. I've already lost my dad, and now I can't lose Noah too. You also have me and Mom. I mean, I get why you're so hungry for love. The only people you love are in jail, and we both know my mom's as warm as an ice cube. But we're here for you, and that's why, if you're so sure that Noah's lying, then I will help you. You will? Oh, thank you. Just please don't hug me. I hate that. What started next was a series of things that Claire suggested, and even though some of them made no sense to me, I decided to go with the flow. The first thing on the list was to make Noah jealous by dating someone else, and for that, Claire hooked me up with her childhood friend Lance. We were standing by the lockers when I noticed Noah staring at me from the corner of his eye. I quickly took Lance by his arm and pulled him close. So, Lance, are you an appendix? I don't know what you do or how you work, but I feel like I should take you out.
Seriously?
Shut up. Is he looking?
Not really.
Hold my waist, now.
He's digging his nose. Disgusting.
Oh God, this isn't working. And with that, I pulled Lance in for a kiss. I was sure this would work, but then I turned around and saw Noah walking out. I followed him and found him beating a trash can to death. What's wrong? Are you mad?
Why? Why would I be mad? You can kiss any random jerk you want. I don't care.
Then why are you turning red?
Because of the heat. Duh. Stop asking stupid questions. You're giving me a migraine.
Saying that, Noah just turned around and left. But that whole day in school, he kept giving me death stares, and I could tell that my little trick worked. I updated Claire on the progress that evening, and she suggested we take our game up a notch. So the next day at school during lunch, just as Noah walked in the cafeteria, I let out a huge scream and fell to the ground. Noah came running towards me and started rubbing my cheeks. When I didn't wake up, he lifted me in his arms and took me to the school infirmary. As he laid me down on the bed, our faces were so close. I just wanted to grab him and kiss him, but Claire walked in and spoiled the moment. Get away from her, you creep! You're the reason she's so stressed, that she hasn't eaten anything in 3 days. You know she has Lavaria?
What?
It's a rare disease where if the patient loses their appetite, their brain turns into mush, their heart starts beating rapidly, and they can even lose their life. This is all your fault.
I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry, Maisie. I never meant to hurt you.
Noah leaned in to kiss me. Then I opened my eyes and jumped out of the bed. Gotcha!
Are you crazy? I thought you were dying. I can't believe you staged this whole thing.
I was dying, silly, of a broken heart. But now that I know you care about me...
You can't just take a hint, so let me spell it out for you. I don't care.
Then why are you here? You and I both know we had something special, and you're just trying to sabotage it for some godforsaken reason. Just be honest.
You want me to be honest? Fine. I only helped you because I felt sorry that I hadn't been the nicest to you, but you're clearly out of your mind. You're a crazy lovesick puppy, and it's pretty pathetic, and you totally wasted my time.
I wasted your time? You're the one who made me fall in love with you and then threw me aside like some cheap trash. And now you're being a jerk for no reason. You don't want me around? Okay, but at least give me a reason.
I just don't like you, and I have nothing more to say.
Fine, then you won't see my ugly face ever again. And I just covered up my face with a sheet as Noah walked away. I spent 2 days in my room crying and stuffing my face with ice cream. Every time I saw Noah at school, my stupid heart fluttered. Then it would break again the moment he was out of sight. I didn't want to feel like that, so I plunged myself into studies and applying for college, but it still wasn't enough. Then one evening, Claire thought it would be a good idea to go out and clear my mind. But on our way to the restaurant, I saw Noah talking to some shady-looking men. And then one of the men punched Noah in his stomach, and the other pushed him in the back of a van. I have to go. No, Maisie, this is not your problem. He's in trouble. I have to save him. Who do you think you are, Rambo? Did you see the size of those 2 men? They would crush us with their pinky fingers. Then you stay here, but I'm going. I took a cab and asked the driver to follow the van. Minutes later, we stopped in front of an abandoned building. The shady-looking men dragged Noah inside, and I was right on their tail. I hid behind the pillar, totally confused, when I saw a middle-aged man walk in.
What is this I'm hearing? You don't want to work for me anymore? Have you forgotten why I adopted you? No, I know you only need me for my skills, but I've done enough already. I can't hurt Maisie anymore. Well, my little boy is in love, it seems. I wonder what your girlfriend would say when she finds out that you're the reason her dad's in jail. If you wouldn't have hacked into her dad's computer and leaked those files, he'd still be home with his dumb daughter. I did what I did to save your butt. Maisie's dad knew that you were supplying confidential information to enemy nations, and if I wouldn't have leaked those files, he would have outed you and you'd be rotting in jail. So be thankful. And I will be once I get rid of you.
The old man snapped his fingers and a bunch of bodyguards surrounded Noah. One of them held Noah's arm and the other was about to punch him when I flung my bag at him and hit him smack in his face. Bullseye!
Maisie, why are you here?
I followed you and shouldn't be asking me questions. How dare you lie to my face? Watch out! Noah ducked a punch and ran towards me while I picked up a stick and started hitting people with all my strength. But it wasn't enough. There were too many. Just then we heard police sirens, and seconds later a team of officers barged in with Claire right behind them. It's okay, you can thank me later. Let's just get out of here first. The police surrounded the building, and Noah's testimony was enough to get everyone arrested, including himself. But just as they were taking him away, I asked if I could talk to him and went to the side. Why didn't you just tell me the truth?
And say what? That I'm the reason your dad's in jail? The day you told me your dad was a coder, I went home and checked you out on the internet. After I found out who you were, I couldn't be around you. But I couldn't let you go either. I know I messed it up, but can you forgive me?
No, Noah, I can't. I lost my home, my family because of you, and nothing can compare to that pain.
I can understand. Have a good life, Maze. God knows you deserve it.
Noah turned around and left, and I never heard from him again. Claire took me home, and a week later, Dad was released. Dad got his old job back, and I went back to being the computer nerd I was. Developed 100 applications, got rich, famous, gave interviews, but Noah always remained in the back of my mind. So you never met him again? Nope, but I still miss him a lot, and I wish I could have said that to his face. Let's see if we can help with that. What are you doing here? When did you get out?
Last week, I helped with the investigation, so they reduced my sentence. The crew got in touch with me an hour back and sent me the address, and here I am.
And I'm glad that you're here.
Maisie, I'm sorry. You know that when you're away from someone for so long, you make a mental image in your head about how they would look, and you think that no one can be that perfect. Well, you are. You are perfect, and I wish I could have said that sooner, but...
Can we not talk at all? And let's just agree that we've both been stupid?
I'd like that.
And can you also just pull me closer and...